Hi everybody, all my followers, welcome to another video. So let's gonna hurry up this because it's getting dark and I want to have some good light to record this, and I want to get this done. Right, so the car is 2007 BMW Series 1. I'm not sure which engine is on this. I know it's the petrol engine, but I'm not sure which engine is fitted on this. It doesn't really matter. Now, why the car is here? What I've been told is the parking sensors module has been replaced, and ever since the parking sensors, they don't work. Now, what I've seen already, and I'm going to show you, is that I have the engine running, as you can see, and when I engage reverse, so the first thing I want to see is obviously if my rear sensor, if my reverse sensor is working. Now, the way you can see that is either by engaging gear and see if the reverse lights comes on. You can check that on live data as well, obviously, if you have a scanner. Or what I'm going to do is quite other simple, really. That's my parking sensors button and LED at the top. And when I engage reverse, it comes on, which means obviously my sensor is working. It's giving the information that the reverse has been engaged, and obviously enables the sensors. Now, the light, it just comes on and stays solid. Most of the times when there is a problem on BMWs, I believe this is going to be the same, the light starts to flash. Now, the thing here is that I have no beeping at all. There's no beeping coming from the sensor, so I have the car quite close to my fence. Really, hang on a minute. Let me put a little bit more to the back, but it's pretty much touching the fence. A little bit more. Wait, that's it. So I'm pretty much touching the fence now, and still, as you can see, my fence is right over there, and it's still no beeping, but the light stays solid. So my guess is because the module doesn't belong to the car, until I program the module to the car, the modules are not going to work. And that's what I'm going to take you through. I haven't plugged the maxi Cs yet. We're going to do it now, and I will take you through how to get that done. And before we go any forward, let me show you this. This is how the car came to me. So the module is there. It's not in the right place, I believe, because it's not supposed to be here. We're gonna have to put this back in place properly. So it does have this yellow paint, so indeed it's been replaced. Everything is plugged in. Yeah, everything is plugged in, looks okay to me. Another thing that I've done is I've touched the sensors. When you touch the sensors with your finger, just gentle touch the sensor, and you should feel a kind of a click, which is obviously the sonar sending the sound, and then obviously it receives the sound back, and that's how it calculates the distance. I've checked all four. That's a good way to see if the sensors are working. They are all doing that sort of clicking, so I can feel that on my finger. But like I said, if it was an issue with one of the sensors, these systems, what they usually do is they just start to blink the LED, indicating there is a fault. So, but we're gonna have to dismantle that and put the box in the right place, the module where it should be. We're not gonna leave it like that, obviously. But for now, let's gonna plug the maxi Cs and go from there. And the first thing I'm gonna do is obviously scan the module. That's going to be probably body, just to see if there's anything. Where's the thingy? It's a little bit of glare, isn't it? Okay, so it should be alright. So let's gonna go here. Okay, so no faults detected, which is good. So why we have no sound? Let's gonna go to live data. Bus status. Okay, let's, oh, come on. Oh dear, no. Oh, okay, I know why this is, why it's doing this kind of. Alright, it's gonna turn this off. Okay, so distance sensors, I'll do a quick. So some are getting something here. There's front and rear, so I have 2 here reading 0 for some reason. All the other ones are reading something. Just gonna go back. Status. So everything looks good. So if I get my reverse engaged, it comes up as reverse gear selected. So everything we knew already was working, but I'm gonna go back now. So it doesn't really matter my hardware number. Just want to go there. So okay, so here it tells me that there's no separate PDC acoustic sensor, and my sound should come out through the radio. Okay. Right, active tests. Let me see if we have. And I have nothing. That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. That's interesting. So, what's going on here? Okay, let me go through these menus and try to find out what's going on. Okay, guys, and I just went through every single ECU, but what I've done is I've done an auto scan, and the only faults I had, I've cleared the faults, and now obviously I'm doing auto scan again. But the only faults I had was related to the PDC, was actually on my integrated automatic heating and air conditioning, saying it was something to do with a message coming from the PDC. So everything else, as you can see, I've just done an auto scan again, and as you can see, there's no faults at all. So I'm a little bit confused why that would be. Now, the only thing I haven't done yet, or the only thing I don't know about it, is when you go to here, and you go to live data, yeah, live data, and you go to that, is that. So no separate PDC acoustic sensor, which means the sound should come through the speakers of the radio, but I'm not sure if this is the case on this car. So the car is coded, or the PDC is coded as no separate PDC acoustic sensor, but when you go in there, as you can see, it says depending on vehicle specification. So what I'm going to do, guys, is just we're just going to go all the way back, and we're going to go do a programming session. And there it is, all my stuff. I'm going to press OK. I'm already connected to the MaxiSys through the USB cable, which you need to in order to do programming or coding. Let's gonna let this to load. Okay, and by the time you get to this video, most likely you have seen something already similar. Me doing these with other modules. So it's asking me if any control units were replaced, and obviously we're going to tell them yes, they were. We're going to now select which one was, and we're going to come all the way down. We're going to tell them that was the one that was replaced, and we're going to press OK. And it should now take us to the next menu. Okay, and once all the data is loaded, this is your first screen. Let's gonna see the initial report, what it says, see how many modules. There we go. It's telling me to actually replace the module, as you can see in there. There's other stuff that tells me there is new software, so we're not going to do that, obviously. Just going to go back. We're going to go to programming and coding. We're going to go to selective, I think it is. No. Cancel. It's going to go back to control unit list. It's going to go to park distance control. Control unit information. Okay. Back, let's kind of perform a coding. Okay, and that's my plan of what the tool is going to do. Okay. It's going to execute the measurements plan. Switch on, that's all done. Must exceed 13 volts. Okay, let's gonna plug the charger because I don't want to risk to do any coding or programming without get the right voltage. Okay, so there we go. Charger connected. We now have 13.63 volts. Let's gonna press OK, and it should go through the coding process. Remove the key. And turn ignition on. Oh, come on. Ignition on. And ignition off. Turn ignition on again. Okay, and hopefully everything has been successfully done. Oh, come on. We're going to do continue session because I don't want to come out of this yet. Going to come back to the main menu again. And now I'm going to turn the ignition off. Okay, and after the coding, the scenario changed completely, and we now have a blinking light, and we had earlier a fault in there for the PDC. But what I want to show you is, so I'm still under programming, but obviously when you get in there, as we did earlier, I can actually diagnose the module as if I'm in the diagnose side of things. And when I come here, well, the first thing, well, there is two faults that you're going to see now. So the first fault for the internal fault is now present. Most likely that's while during the coding it just generated that fault. But what I want to show you here is after coding the module to the car, according to the VO, as you can see, I now have a fault for the acoustic generator front. So which means this car does not send the sound for the parking sensors through the speakers of the radio. It looks like it has separate speakers for that. And when I come back and I come to live data and I go there, if you remember before, and look what it shows now, two speakers. You remember what I was saying before? So what I strongly believe is the other module, the original module, was nothing wrong with it, and the initial problem was actually this. Because they changed it, obviously it wouldn't work because it wouldn't work for this car. Well, it's all this good stuff. When I go to everything else looks the same, other than that fault stored in there. Everything else is pretty much the same, guys. Distance sensors, everything is looking the same. The only difference is, as you can see now, because there is a fault, they don't read. Bus status, everything should be, yeah, everything's fine. And the hardware numbers doesn't really matter, but yeah, the module should work on this car, hopefully. Special now that's been coded. But it's triggering a fault, and now that we coded it correctly, it's triggering a fault for the front speaker. So I believe that's the problem with this. I don't know where these speakers are. I don't have a clue where they are. I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on. Obviously the problem doesn't seem to be the module. We got it coded to the car and we still have a fault. Well, we now know what the fault is. So if I go erase codes and I come back to read the codes, I'm gonna have only hold on a second. Let me just cycle the ignition now, or actually just let me cycle the ignition and we should have the fault for the front. There we go, the alarm comes up, the fault comes up straight away, and we should now have the fault only for the front speaker. I keep saying not present. Okay, for some reason it keeps coming up with that fault, but I'm not worried with that just yet. It still says not present. I'm now out of the programming menu and I'm on the diagnostics menu, and what I'm going to do now is try to figure out where that speaker is and try to see what's going on, basically. Okay guys, and it's really getting dark, and I hate to record when it's dark, but right here at the front, under the passenger, under the driver's side, there is this handle cover here. There is one speaker. I'm back probing one wire in there at the moment. I haven't checked yet, but I believe this is my PDC speaker in there. And I'm back probing the wire on the left hand side, which is the blue with the grey strip. The other one is a black with a red. And we're going to go at the back. I've seen those colors in there. We're just going to go there, make sure we have a good continuity from there to here. Or it might be that there is a problem with my speaker itself. Now, I was looking for the rear one, and I can't find it. I don't know where it is. But let's gonna go back here now. So it's not on this side. You only have the radio speaker in there. And guess what, it's not on that side either, and I can't see nothing unplugged or anything like that, so I'm not sure yet at this moment in time. I'm not sure where this speaker should be, so just bear with me. But for now I just want to test my wires, which they come into this black plug here. So hold on. Okay, and let's gonna check these then. That is my, well, that's my blue and grey, which seems to go somewhere here at the back. There it is. So indeed that's going to be my front speaker. Let's gonna check the other wire now. I'm gonna swap the wires at the front to the next one and see if we have a good continuity to here. Okay, I'm now probing the black with the red strip. It's gonna see where that one is. Gonna have to be here somewhere. There it is. Okay, so good, 0.5 ohms. So all good from here to the front. Now what I would like to do is I would like to find my rear speaker, because although my fault is for the front one, I would like to see if I could swap them over and try to see if my fault will change, because I don't know if that's going to be, I don't think any speaker will work for this, so I'm sure the module will have to see some sort of resistance in there in order to identify that as a good speaker. So where is the speaker on these ones? At the back. Let's gonna find out. Okay guys, and after a little bit of digging into this, unfortunately this module is not gonna work. So at the moment I'm probing a wire of one of the wires of the front speaker, which comes into the board somewhere here. Okay, and when I start to follow this lane, so as you can see in there, this area here is supposed to have one of these, I'm not sure what they are, if they are transistor, voltage regulator, or wherever they might be. They're supposed to come to one of these, and as you can see in there, okay, but there's nothing here. Then from here I can still trace this to somewhere here. It comes to here, then comes to here, and once again it leads me all the way up here, and that's it. So once again an empty space. So I think this module is not going to work, because either was only for, I still don't find where the rear speaker is, but it might be that this was supposed to use, I'm not 100% sure, but this is not going to work because the board doesn't have the circuit for the speakers, at least for the front speaker. Don't know why it's not failing on the rear speaker, unless the speaker is somewhere where I can't see it. I don't know. But yeah, this is not going to work. It's going to have to get another module. So yeah, it's going to need another module. A little bit weird why the module accepted the coding, but yeah, that's what it is really. There's nothing I'm going to be able to do with this. So this means another module. Wrong module. Okay, and few days later, so the day I was working on the car was actually 31st of December, and I had to give the car back. So after that last clip, all I've done was put the car back together and gave the car back to the owner, and I got a go ahead to buy a new module. And I just got the module today. Unfortunately, I can't do nothing today because I'm working tonight and over the next couple of days. But then I will have to arrange for the car to come back to fit the new module, which is that one in there. But before I do that, I want to show you something that obviously just supports my theory. Now, the first thing I want to do is show you a picture. Okay, as you might have seen from that picture, that is a picture from the initial report that Maxisys gave me, where it tells me to replace the module. Now, Maxisys, right, let's put it across. You can't always, it's not trust. You can't always follow that as you need to do as a must, because there is some modules that will work even if Maxisys or ISTA tells you to replace it. Basically, what the Maxisys does, or ISTA P, what it does is on their database, through the integration level, it knows which part numbers it should be in there. If the part number is out of the range, it tells you to replace it. Basically tells you it's the wrong module. Now, in this case, it's quite helpful because it tells me which module I should actually get, because I didn't have the original module, so you don't know which part number you should get. But through that number, I've ordered
one which is the same. So I will show you everything in a minute, but basically you can't always go through that. Sometimes you can get the wrong part number module on a car working perfectly. It all depends, the functions, is a lot of variables in there. I don't want to go too much into detail on that, but in this case it was quite helpful because he actually tells me what the part number I should get. Now what I'm going to show you is, so this is my part number that came on a car. So you can go back on the picture and see that that's the part number MaxiSys tells me is fitted on the car. And that's the part number MaxiSys tells me I should have in there. So I went on eBay, ordered one. And what I want to show you is, if you remember on that one in there, I told you we followed the circuitry and it came up here to this area which you can see is completely empty. And then it came somewhere in this corner here. I think was that solder point in there, and as you can see, all this area is blank all the way down to here. Okay, now I want you to see the new module. So it's still empty there, but look, you have all these chips here, and where the pin, where the circuit from the front speaker was coming, which was right here somewhere there, I think it was in there. Look at all this area. Okay, see the difference? Okay, so that's the thing. This module is not most likely. This module is for cars where the sound from the PCB, from the PDC, from the parking distance sensors comes through the speakers. So the only thing this module does is communicates through the CAN network with the head unit and tell the head unit which speaker the sound should come out from. In this case, it's different. So you have the circuit in there to actually activate the front and the rear speaker. I'm still a little bit puzzled why I couldn't find the rear speaker when I believe it should be somewhere above the wheel arch. So I'm not 100% sure, unless it's fitted somewhere else. To be fair, after the last clip I've recorded, I just put all the panels back and gave the car back. I didn't really went that further, try to find it. But I think we'll figure that out. We'll find that out when we put the new module. Now, this obviously just a plug and play. I strongly believe this module is going to work straight away as soon as I plug it in, unless there's other issue with the car, which I don't think it is. So it should work straight away. Nevertheless, we're going to go through the coding. We're going to code this to the car. I don't need to take you through. Same process as I've done with this module. The only thing is this module, it was not for the car, so it didn't work. But this module, it will work. So I'm going to do exactly the same steps. So I'm not going to show you that. The only thing I'm going to show you, hopefully, is when I get the car here and I have everything working. I will show you everything working. And that's it, really. But yeah, so the guy said he got this from eBay, just a curiosity. He got this from eBay. He gave the number plate to the eBay seller, and they tell him, yes, that will be for the car. This just shows is quite much more than that. You can't just go through. If you can always get the same part number, guys, and you can't go wrong like that. And you can't go wrong with that if you get the same part number. When you don't get the same part number, you need to have a little bit better information, because sometimes these modules, and that's another thing, guys, sometimes these modules, they are superseded with a different part number. So same unit will do the same job, but because in this case Bosch might change something on the PCB, a different layout, a different whatever, they change the part number. And the module is it will do exactly the same, but with a different part number. So sometimes you need to research, see which modules supersede the old ones, and there's a lot to it. But when you are replacing modules, if you can get the same part number, at least you know you can't go wrong. In this case, I didn't even knew what was the part number. If it was not for the MaxiSys to tell me which one it was. And but yeah, so next time you're gonna see me, hopefully will be with this already plugged in and on the car, which will be, I don't know when, but just stay tuned. And yeah, but we found the issue, hopefully. So let's just gonna wait for the module to work. Okay, guys, and I got the car dropped here this morning, and we just plugged in the module, as you can see.
the one I've showed you, the one that came in. In the meantime, now with the daylight, I found where this rear speaker is, which is right there at the back. Can you see in there in the middle? So it's right there at the back. So I found it finally. But yeah, we'll plug it in, and all we need to do now is see what happens. So let's gonna turn the ignition on. Okay, and the car is just right against that fence. So once we turn that on, if everything is good, I should have an alarming for the front parking sensors. Oh, there we go. Look at that. So this is for the front speakers. Let me have a look if the rear ones are also working. Oh, there he is. So look, let me step back. There we go. There we go. As you have seen, oh dear. Just make sure it goes in as well when you engage reverse. There he is. Right, so it worked straight away. Just plug and play, really. I haven't plugged in the Maxis yet. However, we're gonna do what I've just told you on the last clip. We're gonna plug it in and just run the coding session, just to make sure it's coded properly to the car. But as you can see, everything is working. There is nothing more to it really, other than the front and rear sensors, which they are both working. So it could be that the module would come from a car only with rear sensors, and the front sensors wouldn't be coded, but they are, as you have seen. But we're going to run a coding and programming session, do what I've done earlier, and that's it. I'm not going to take you through. I took you already through on the other module, so it's going to be the same thing. There's no point to do anything else. But as you can see, it's working, guys. So that was the problem, wrong module, and that's it. I don't know. I just hope there's some information here, guys, that you're going to find it useful. I don't really have anything else to say. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you do have any questions, any comments, just put them below. And like always, thanks for watching.